Hey guys, Sav here. Back here in Dry Top. Where we're going to move on with our Season 2 living story. We're into the second chapter now. This is part 1 of the second chapter. And that's where we need to go.
Timey? Timey, are you here? Timey?
I'm here. I'm okay. Scruffy protected me. Are you all okay?
Oh, whew. Yeah, we're okay too.
Everything started to shake. I barely had time to get into Scruffy.
Is she okay, Bram?
Yeah, she's okay. She hid in her golem.
I didn't hide. I was collecting important data.
Uh-huh.
Did I hear you say Timey's okay?
I'm fine. Collie.
What's happening?
I feel like this whole world is falling out from under us. I think we all feel that way. We've got a new dragon to contend with. Nothing will ever be the same. No, it won't. Mordremoth did this, and it's only just starting.
Mordremoth?
Raises the stakes to a whole new level of awful, doesn't it?
Gods, we need a plan. What are we gonna do?
You really think all these vines are related to Mordremoth? All these deaths? I'm quite certain. What are we going to do? We start by following Scarlet's trail. Scarlet believed she had seen the bigger picture. It was part of her delusion. I don't think bringing down the Zephyrite was part of Scarlet's plan, but both she and the Saboteur talked about the destruction of Tyria. I know. Aaron said a Tyrian leader would die. This makes me think someone or something was pulling his strings. That scares me the most about him. Trouble is, we have no idea who he meant. It could be anyone, though the biggest threat to Mordremoth is probably Traherne. I hate the thought that Queen Jenna could be in danger too. He said several other strange things too. Yes, like, it will be so pleased, and I've seen the bigger picture. He sounded so much like Scarlet, it was unnerving. I suspect we can still learn from Scarlet, even posthumously? English is my first language. I'm just throwing it out there. Doesn't always sound like it. For the record, I agree that this is Mordremoth's doing. It all started with Scarlet. We need to understand her. Did you see her voice recorder? Her books and papers? I'm just glad you're okay. What have you learned? Lots of things. Like, Scarlet started with steam creatures, then graduated Aether and Watchwork. She released a bunch of the steam creatures into the world. Oh, and she killed Omad. Killed Omad? He was her last mentor. He experimented on her with his mind-widening device, and that's when she saw the eternal alchemy, or what she thought was it. So she killed him for it? No, she killed him because once he realized his device worked, he started looking at her like she was a lab rat, not like an assistant or student. He was going to experiment more on her. I see, but surely Omad wouldn't have hurt her. Historically speaking, previous generations of Asura, including Omads, viewed the Servari as an anomaly to be studied. When the first Servari arrived, many were victimized in the interest of arcane knowledge. You have any new insight into the drawing on the wall? Actually, I do. Based on Scarlet's writings and her holographic recorder over there, I've come up with a theory. I think that's the representation of her vision. Her vision? Her mentor, Omad, made a device that opened the mind. When she tried it, she had a vision. At the center is a symbol I've seen used to represent the pale tree. And you think she drew that drawing after it? Yes, she claimed that she had seen the eternal alchemy during the vision. The symmetrical elements in the drawing and the pale tree at the center lead me to that conclusion. Why the pale tree? In her vision, she saw the pale tree attacked by a thorn vine. She described it as doing terrible damage to the pale tree. That sounds terrible. Did it bother her? It pleased her. She even grew some thorny vines to strangle Omad. The parallel with the vines from her vision is not lost on me. What about ley lines? Have you learned anything new? The most interesting thing of all. Scarlet theorized that her waypoint positioning coincides with the location of the most powerful ley lines. Was she right? Likely, but not yet confirmed. need to do more research. I need to better understand the elements that draw her to that conclusion. Fascinating.
So, were you able to figure out what Scarlet was doing here?
Studying ley lines. But I don't...
Hold on.
Oh my!
What timing?
Happening.
Hey, come look at this. There's a passage behind this bookshelf.
What? Get out of my way. Let me see.
Settle down. Let the boss go in first.
All right, but hurry up.
Come on, Frostbite, let's go.
Yeah, for the living story, there's a lot of reading parts. It's kind of annoying. I guess they did it when a lot of the voice actors weren't available for whatever reason. So, apologize for having to read some of this, especially with how terribly I read. Investigate, or interact, I'm sorry. A History of Dry Top by Nicholas Sanford, 1070 AE. Read on. Now a barren landscape, this rounded basin may have held water many millennia ago. Sand now covers everything, blowing on the wind and eroding all rocks and inhabitants alike. Read on. Unknown sentient beings once built fragile hillside homes high on the cliffsides. Some structures still linger, but will also fall victim to the blowing sand and hot sun. The area attracts outlaws on the run with something to hide, or those who are unwelcome among civilized folk for one reason or another. This makes the area dangerous to travelers such as me and Yakington. Migrating centaur packs come through here, it seems. There's evidence that they had a refuge here. The large tree trunk, quite out of place, could have been one of their sacred trees. Despite appearances, this waterless area is far from lifeless, and it serves as the doorway into the Maguma jungle, a region of uncontrollable growth, life, and often death. On the open page of this book, Scarlet drew a note leading up and out of her tunnel to a higher region of Dry Top. Examine it. The points on Scarlet's map trace a path winding across this higher region of Dry Top to some unknown destination, where she drew crisscrossing lightning bolts. This piece of paper was torn from a book. Letters sent home from soldiers in the Cornin army have given us a great insight into their lives. In the 11th century AE, their leader, Varish Asa, inspired great loyalty. In one particular speech, Asa praised her military and encouraged them to use their persuasive abilities to build the power of Korna from the inside. She said, if properly convinced, you can get whole groups of lesser creatures to work toward your goals without them realizing they're not working for themselves. Asa cites the alliance between centaurs and the Cornin craftspeople as the example. Together they produced better armor and weapons, and they provided for the Cornin people's day-to-day needs. This notebook, titled Research Notes, has a complex set of equations, drawings, and engineering blueprints. Did you find something? You found something, didn't you? Scarlet left a map showing that she headed someplace to the southwest. I bet it leads to the ley line she discovered. You stay here with the others for now. I'm going to see where this takes me. That's it for the first part of chapter 1. On to the second, or chapter 2. We're actually into chapter 2 now. And I should actually probably start calling them by their names instead of chapter 1 and chapter 2. This is Entanglement. Right? I should get a story journal. There we go. Entanglement. We just finished Gates of Maguma, which is it for chapter 1. There's going to be 8 total chapters. And that was part 1 of Entanglement. Scarlet's Secret Room. Now we're going to discover Scarlet's breakthrough.